Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dockery Docket podcast, the podcast where I, your dear host, is not afraid at all to dive into some controversy. Well, maybe I'm a little afraid, but we'll get through it. So, I'm going to be honest with you here. I don't really like to talk about guns or different mass shootings that have taken place in our country. Honestly, these different situations just make me angry because I don't understand why someone would do this. What do they have going on in their brain that makes them think that they can get away with something like this, or that this is somehow justifiable? Because I believe it is never justifiable to hurt any child, no matter what. And what also makes me angry is the response that we are getting from the media when these different attacks happen. Because the takes from the media are extremely unhinged and absolutely stupid. The usual thing that people say after a tragedy is, "Oh my goodness, our thoughts and prayers are with the family. We're going to pray for them and hopefully God will help them through this." But the left doesn't want thoughts and prayers because they want to take away your guns. It is honestly as simple as that. They want a gun buyback program just like they've done in Australia and in England. There are different things that we can do in schools to make sure that children are safe. We could have a police officer always at the school, armed and ready, his cop car outside, so then someone could be deterred from going into the school and shooting it up. Maybe also we could have a teacher or some member of the staff hold a gun, so then there's someone inside the building that can take out this shooter. I know it stinks. I know it's terrible. But we have to figure out what we can do to make sure that people aren't just walking into schools all willy-nilly and shooting people. Because here's the thing, I don't like this either. I don't like that there are a lot of school shootings that are happening right now, and there needs to be some sort of solution. And I believe 100% that gun control is not the solution. Stupid people are going to do stupid things no matter what. And we have to make sure that these stupid people are stopped somehow, and in every single one of these mass shootings, the shooter is killed by a good guy with a gun, or them themselves turning their gun on themselves and killing themselves. I said themselves a lot, but that's okay. Banning guns just won't work. It will never work because people will somehow still get a gun and still do illegal things, and then you have people that are helpless. We have seen this with drugs, we have seen this with alcohol, we have seen this with so many different things. Then we have these politicians just dunking on these kids that were just shot at, and some that were even killed, and it was despicable and disgusting. As Jen Psaki got on social media and posted, prayer is not freaking enough. Prayers do not end school shootings. Prayers do not make parents feel safe sending their kids to school. Prayer does not bring their children back. Enough with the thoughts and prayers. But then if you look back on her timeline, she wished for thoughts and prayers to Steve Scalise, who was shot at a baseball game. So what's the difference here? Why don't these kids deserve prayer, but Steve Scalise does? Is it because these children are somehow Christian and they were praying in a mass, so that means that they should have been protected? And Gavin Newsom, who's trying to be this nice, cool, hip politician, also went on Twitter to absolutely dunk on these poor children, as he has tried to be a super edgy politician. So he tweeted out a video of Caroline Leavitt responding to the Jen Psaki tweet by saying, "These children were literally praying as they got shot." However, if you go back and look at Gavin Newsom's X account, guess what? During Sandy Hook, he wished for thoughts and prayers to the families that were affected, as he wrote, "Heartbreaking, devastating thoughts and prayers for the staff, students, and parents of Sandy Hook Elementary School, Newtown, Connecticut. What an absolutely terrible human being. Why is it that the kids at Sandy Hook deserve thoughts and prayers, but for some reason, these kids don't?" Now, the media has gone full force on banning guns, and apparently getting mad at children and people for praying for the children, which I don't know why. But they're doing this because this whole shooting doesn't fit the left's agenda. As this school shooter, who I'm not going to name because I don't name any school shooter or terrorist on my podcast, But anyway, this person identified as a transgender, which I will have to admit is becoming a very sad trend. As a while back, I made a video called When Scumbags Attack, and in that video I talked about the Covenant school shooting where a former student went into her school and shot and killed 6 people. We later found out that the student was a former member and also had a manifesto where she wrote multiple things about killing Christians and how much she hated Christianity. And it seems like putting all of these pieces together that this shooting was sort of the same situation as the Covenant high school shooting, as the shooter's mom had been working at that Catholic school for 5 years. And the shooter also attended the school, just like with the other shooter. So all of this seems very cut and dry. This person was angry at the Catholic school. Maybe the Catholic school tried to stop this person from being transgender. They got mad at them, so they took it out on the school. All of that makes sense, right? Sadly, we will never know because the shooter shot themselves, but we have some evidence we do have evidence that this school shooter was radicalized and wasn't a big fan of God, children, or even Jews. Because this school shooter had a YouTube channel which was nuked immediately after the shooting took place, and the videos I've seen are very creepy, and I'm not going to show you them because the person's laughing and it's very creepy. It's got an eerie vibe to it. And in one of those videos, the shooter is showing its target, and the very top where the head is on the target, it has a picture of Jesus, which is very strange and makes you think, okay, this person definitely doesn't like Christianity. And then we got to see the magazines that were going into the gun that this person was going to use to kill innocent people. And each of these different clips had a different message on them. Some of these were written in Russian, but others were written in English. And some of the phrases were, "Where is your God?" Another said, "Kill Trump now." Another read, "Israel must fall," and they also had other anti-Semitic messages. Along with that, the most chilling one that this person showed said, "For the children." So the motive seems very clear. This person was radicalized by the radical left. All of these things that they're talking about is what the left supports. And the left has also continued to support people that identify as trans to take action against other people. Do you remember the Trans Day of Vigilance? Have you seen the Protect Trans Kids shirt with a knife in it? What about the transgender flag that has a gun in the middle of it? All of this stuff, including the rhetoric that Donald Trump is literally Hitler and he's going to literally kill trans people, leads to situations like this. And all of this is just making people go insane and do different things, because if they believe that Donald Trump is killing trans people, then they're going to go out and try and kill different people. The sad reality is that people that are not mentally there believe these different lies and take action, and they hurt innocent people. Even though we have all of this information on the shooter, and it seems like we have come up with a very clear motive, the New York Times threw a curveball, and it made me and a lot of people angry. As the New York Times released an article titled, "Minneapolis Suspect Knew Her Target, but Motive is a Mystery." No, it's not. It is not a mystery. We have all the evidence. We have all the clips. We have the videos. We have the manifesto. We know that this person did this because they didn't like Christianity. Why can't you see that? Why is the media, for some reason, trying to cover this up? Because it once again doesn't fit their narrative. When a few years ago, a terrible racist scumbag shot and killed 9 people at Emmanuel African Methodist Church in Charleston, South Carolina, we knew that that shooter was a terrible, evil, racist person because we saw what he had posted on social media. I don't remember a person defending this person. We all called him terrible. We all called him evil. We all called him racist. And we tried to say, hey, this guy is bad. Lock him up. Throw him in jail. Don't ever let him out again because what he did was so terrible and so egregious. Now we have a similar situation. A shooter that doesn't like Christians, that doesn't like Trump supporters, just based on the writings that were written on the magazines. We should be calling this person out and saying, hey, this person is bad. This person is evil. I'm glad that they shot themselves, and I'm glad that more people didn't get hurt because of this stupid person. But instead, we have people defending this shooter, this terrible person, making videos on X claiming that we can't misgender the shooter. Jake Tapper also said that they wanted to make sure that the pronouns were there correctly. And I believe that a story was just redacted because they used the wrong pronouns and they issued out an apology. Who cares? This person is evil. Then the mayor of Minneapolis just put the cherry right on top of this stupid parfait. Take a look at this.
I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids. Kids died today. This needs to be about them. This needs to be wrapping our arms around these families with every bit of love that we can possibly show.
Okay, that's fine. You can use that logic, but I want you to know that if the next mass shooting is a white male, then you have to use the exact same logic. I want to hear this mayor say, anyone that is using this tragedy to villainize white people has lost all sense of humanity. Would that be an okay thing to say? Do you think that the mayor would have said that? Do you think that people on the left would be saying that? Do you think that if the roles were different, and if this person was a white male, that everyone would just be like, oh, this person's great, don't misgender them, don't say anything bad about them, because we know that that person is an evil scumbag no matter how they identify. Black, white, red, orange, trans, not trans. People who do this stuff are sick, and they're evil, and they're terrible, and they should be called out for it. And I mean, I wonder if this mayor would have defended the evil, terrible, racist Charleston shooter. Because the mayor also said we should not be operating out of hate towards anyone, and we should operate out of love. I mean, is that the same for the Charleston shooter, or is that just the same for this situation right now? Because I'm saying right now that both of these people are evil. Both of these people should be locked up and thrown in jail. The left isn't. The left is saying, well, we gotta protect this one because they are a part of a marginalized community. Who cares? This person did a heinous crime. We should be after them. We should be attacking them. And we should be calling them out and saying that what they did was terrible. Because guess what? There are people in this world that are evil, and they will do stupid and evil things. And if we can't call these people out because, oh, well, we don't want to offend them, or we don't want to misgender them, then none of this will get fixed. There is something that I haven't mentioned with this entire story, and that is that we are dealing with a mental health crisis in this country. And I believe that anyone who goes into a school and shoots little children has something wrong in the head. But instead of calling out these different mental illnesses and trying to help different people get through their mental illness, instead, we are deciding to accept their mental illness as normal. But if you have a group of people that are so mentally ill that 40% of them have attempted suicide, 56% have engaged in non-suicidal self-injury over their lifetimes. And if you had a group of people that wanted to cut off their own body parts to make them feel better, wouldn't that be concerning to you? Wouldn't that make you want to jump out and help those people try and get over what this mental illness is? And wouldn't you want this situation and these different operations to stop? This is not me trying to be transphobic. This is me trying to help different people that are dealing with serious mental illnesses. And maybe, just maybe, instead of defending these people, we actually try and help them with their mental acuity so then they can actually live in society and be good, honest human beings who don't have the constant pressure of thinking about suicide or wanting to do suicidal things. Because that's not what we want. We don't want anyone, whether you're trans, gay, straight, or whatever, to go through situations like this. We want people to be healthy. We want people to have good functioning minds that aren't depressed or suicidal or have bad things. We want people to be happy. I know that it's a controversial take. I know that people always say, well, it's always the brains, it's always mental illness, but it is. It's people constantly telling them lies and people believing those lies and then going at different people and hurting people. I believe that something has to be done to help these different people. And with that, I just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dockery Docket. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.